The sky above Earth was a deep twilight, streaked with clouds that glowed faintly from the setting sun. Then, without warning, a darkness larger than any storm blotted the horizon. Across every continent, people stopped mid-step, staring upward as colossal shapes emerged from hyperspace, hovering silently above the planet. These were no ordinary ships. They were jagged monoliths of black metal, tens of kilometers long, their surfaces bristling with weaponry that pulsed with an eerie, unnatural light. In orbit, the Earth Defense Coalition scrambled satellites and reconnaissance drones, but no sensors could penetrate the alien hulls. On the bridge of the flagship Vigilant, Admiral Kara Reyes gripped the railing, her knuckles white, yet her voice remained steady. "Status report," she barked, eyes scanning the holographic display of the alien formation. "Impossible," muttered Lieutenant Chen, his fingers flying over the console. "They're shields. They absorb energy before it leaves our weapons. Every scan returns null. We can't touch them." Dr. Elias Monroe, standing at the edge of the bridge, adjusted his glasses and focused on the incoming transmission. The alien signal was simple, direct, but it radiated an almost tangible threat: surrender or face annihilation. It wasn't a language, it was a command encoded in subspace frequencies, understood without translation. "They've never done this before," Monroe said low. "No race we've ever encountered can transmit intent this way. It's pure intimidation." On the ground, humans everywhere felt the same chill. Cities went dark as emergency broadcasts cut in, and people gathered in squares, streets, and parks, craning their necks toward the heavens. Fear rippled through the planet like a silent storm, yet amid the terror, sparks of defiance glimmered. Lieutenant Reena Patel led the first wave of Earth's orbital fighters, racing through empty space toward the alien fleet. She felt her heart hammering, adrenaline sharpening her senses. Every maneuver had to be perfect. Failure meant total annihilation. Her squadron moved like a single organism, yet she knew the odds were stacked against them. "Stay sharp," she whispered over comms. "They're waiting for us to make a mistake." For the first time in history, humanity was unified, not by politics, borders, or culture, but by a single, terrifying truth. Survival depended on the collective courage of every human alive. Civilians, engineers, soldiers, and scientists alike braced for the impossible. And then the first pulse hit. Not a blast of weapons, but a wave of energy that swept across orbital defense satellites, temporarily disabling them. The aliens weren't attacking yet. They were testing, observing, and waiting for fear to break the human spirit. Admiral Reyes tightened her jaw. "They may think they've won," she said quietly, "but they haven't seen what humans are capable of yet." Across the planet, eyes turned skyward, hearts racing as humanity prepared to face a force no one thought they could resist. And in the shadow of the alien fleet, a single, undeniable truth emerged: the fight for Earth was only beginning. Deep within a reinforced underground lab, far below the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Elias Monroe pored over alien transmissions. Lines of incomprehensible code flowed across his hollow screen like liquid metal, each pulse of energy from the alien fleet embedded with patterns humans could barely grasp. Yet Monroe noticed something the aliens never intended to reveal: a flaw. Their energy distribution relied on rigid cycles, predictable, precise, and completely logical. "They calculate everything," he muttered to himself, "except for improvisation." Outside the lab, Admiral Kara Reyes prepared Earth's first counterstrike. Satellites repositioned, orbital cannons primed, and fighter squadrons scrambled. Lieutenant Reena Patel led her squadron in tight formation, weaving unpredictably through space debris and temporary energy pulses that masked their movements. Every maneuver was designed to test the aliens, to probe their reactions. The first engagement was nothing short of chaotic brilliance. Reena's squadron darted in from unexpected angles, dodging concentrated energy beams that should have obliterated them. Human pilots coordinated through instinct, intuition, and split-second improvisation.
The alien fleet's responses were mechanical, precise, but always a step behind. "Look at them hesitate," Monroe exclaimed to Reyes, pointing at the holographic display. "They can't adapt fast enough. Every unpredictable move we make, they miscalculate it." Back on Earth, civilians weren't idle. Hackers infiltrated orbital surveillance networks, redirecting satellites to interfere with alien targeting systems. Engineers repurposed decommissioned space defense platforms, creating improvised weapon arrays. Even ordinary citizens, guided by broadcasts and apps developed in hours, contributed to real-time intelligence, tracking alien movements and sharing data globally. Humanity's response was not a military operation alone. It was a planet-wide symphony of ingenuity and coordination. The alien fleet began to show signs of confusion. Shields flickered as the unpredictable human attacks forced them to overcompensate. Small groups of alien vessels collided in open space, unable to adjust quickly to humanity's improvisation. The first cracks appeared in the invaders' otherwise flawless formation. Rena Squadron returned to orbit above Earth, battered but triumphant. The pilots knew they had not destroyed the alien fleet. They had merely shown that humanity could resist, adapt, and survive. Yet that small victory ignited hope across the globe. Streets and squares filled with cheering, trembling people who realized that fear alone could not control them. Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge of Vigilant, watching the fleet's staggered formation on the holo display. "This is just the beginning," she said, determination hardening her features. "They underestimated us. They think we'll panic, that we'll surrender. But humans, we're unpredictable, and that is our greatest weapon." Dr. Monroe nodded. "It's not brute force that will win this war. It's ingenuity, adaptability, and the ability to think like nothing they've ever encountered." As night fell across the planet, Earth collectively held its breath. Humanity had survived the first encounter, proving that even against an overwhelmingly superior force, courage, creativity, and unity could tip the scales. The alien invaders, for the first time in their history, faced a species they could not fully anticipate, a species that might just shatter their plans.
The alien fleet had expected compliance, fear, and a quick victory. Instead, they found resistance that was human. Calculated, yes, but unpredictable. Precise, yet wildly inventive. Admiral Cara Reyes watched the enemy's formation flicker on her holodisplay, noting how their ships overcorrected for every maneuver her fighters made. "We hit them where logic fails," Reyes said, her voice low but fierce. She turned to Lieutenant Rena Patel. "You know the plan. Stick to it and trust your instincts." Rena's squadron emerged from the orbital shadows like phantoms. Cloaked and nearly invisible, they wove through gaps in the alien fleet, using debris and energy distortions to mask their approach. Each pilot moved with a fluid coordination that no alien algorithm could predict. Their target, the enemy flagship's energy core, the central node powering the fleet's shields and communications. "Everyone knows their role," Rena radioed, tension threading her words. "Precision, improvisation, and timing. We can't fail." As they struck, chaos erupted across the alien formation. Beams meant to annihilate Rena's squadron hit nothing but empty space. Alien vessels collided and twisted, scrambling to protect their command network. Humans exploited every misstep, using decoys and erratic maneuvers to turn the invaders' own strength against them. Meanwhile, back on Earth, civilians monitored the battle in real time, aiding pilots and engineers alike. Satellite networks hacked by ordinary citizens disrupted targeting systems, while engineers on the ground adjusted orbital lasers and kinetic projectiles to complement the human offensive. Earth had become a living, breathing participant in the fight, every move unpredictable, every contribution vital. Dr. Elias Monroe, observing from the underground lab, analyzed the alien response. "They can't handle it. They are designed for control and perfection. Humans are chaos they cannot calculate. As Rena's squadron reached the flagship, they launched precision strikes on the energy core. Explosions rippled through the alien fleet, lights flickering, shields collapsing. The flagship shuddered, its massive hull twisting under human ingenuity. The aliens had no time to adapt, no way to predict the next move, no strategy for the creativity and resilience of humanity. Admiral Cara Reyes allowed herself a moment of grim satisfaction. She said they thought victory would be simple, but humans don't surrender to logic. We adapt, we improvise, and we fight. The alien fleet, once a symbol of invincibility, was now disoriented, vulnerable, and scattered. Every human pilot, every civilian hacker, every engineer had contributed to this turning point. Humanity's creativity, unpredictability, and unity had become weapons the invaders could not anticipate. For the first time, the balance of power shifted. The aliens realized that brute strength alone could not overcome a species capable of thinking outside the constraints of pure logic. A species that could turn fear into strategy and ingenuity into survival. Above Earth, streaks of light and shadow danced across the void as the battle raged. Humanity had not yet won the war, but they had shattered the illusion of alien supremacy. The invaders' plans were breaking apart, one unpredictable human action at a time. The alien fleet had once cast a shadow over the entire planet, a looming promise of annihilation. Now it wavered in orbit, fractured and disoriented. Massive vessels drifted aimlessly, shields failing, energy cores sparking with instability. Humanity had turned the invaders' own strength against them through creativity, unpredictability, and unyielding courage. Admiral Cara Reyes watched the display aboard Vigilant, a mix of exhaustion and pride etched across her face. "They underestimated us," she said quietly. "They assumed fear would control us. But humans are more than fear. We are resilience, ingenuity, and unity in action." Lieutenant Rena Patel's squadron zipped past the remnants of the alien fleet, conducting final precision strikes to disrupt remaining command networks. The pilots moved as one, improvising on the fly, anticipating every counterattack. No alien technology could predict human intuition. No algorithm could calculate emotion or courage. Humanity had become a force the galaxy had not seen before. On Earth, people watched live feeds of the retreating invaders, cheering and crying in equal measure. Scientists, engineers, and volunteers worked in unison to stabilize orbital satellites and repair damaged systems. A planet united not by politics or borders, but by the shared experience of survival. Monroe, still in his underground lab, allowed himself a faint smile. "We've done what they said was impossible," he murmured. But the victory came with cost. Cities were scarred, orbital stations wrecked, and countless lives had been lost. Yet humanity did not mourn in despair. They celebrated in determination. Every loss was a reminder of what they were defending, not just a planet, but their identity as a species capable of defying the odds. As the last alien ship vanished into hyperspace, a silence settled over Earth. The skies cleared, revealing stars once obscured by the shadow of invasion. Humanity stood, battered but unbroken. Admiral Cara Reyes addressed the global coalition via broadcast. "This is more than survival," she said, her voice carrying across continents. "We've proven something every civilization should know. The human spirit is unpredictable, unyielding, and unstoppable. We faced extinction, and we adapted. We fought with courage, ingenuity, and heart. That is what makes us human." In the streets, Children stared at the stars with wide eyes, inspired by the bravery of those who defended them. Engineers and hackers returned to their workstations, proud to have played a role in the fight. Pilots repaired their ships, exhausted but exhilarated. Humanity had faced annihilation and had emerged stronger, smarter, and more united than ever. Dr. Monroe leaned back in his chair, watching Earth's rotation on the holo display. "They shattered their own plans," he said. "They relied on fear, on precision, on control, but we are chaos they could not predict. That is humanity's edge. That is our legacy." The planet slowly healed. Humanity, once thought fragile against the infinite cold of space, had proven itself a force no invader could comprehend. Fear had been turned into strategy, adversity into unity, and ingenuity into survival. Earth had faced an impossible invasion, and what happened next had shattered the enemy's plans forever.